Welcome to this edition of Platform. My name is Muhammad Kudu Abubakar. Increasingly, governments around the world are promoting initiatives in transparency or open governments. Governments that are open and transparent are more accountable to their citizens and less likely to be corrupt. What is more, openness generates trust in government and also paves the way for meaningful participation by citizens and more informed and better policies. Parliamentary openness signifies increased commitment by national and regional parliaments. Citizen engagement in parliamentary work in 2012, 140 organizations in 75 countries signed the Declaration on Parliamentary Openness to promote greater transparency and accountability on the part of parliaments through the following strategies. 1. Easing access to parliamentary information through electronic communication and promoting direct citizen engagement around the world. An increasing number of parliaments are more proactive in the provision of information. This has become easier with the proliferation of internet and access to the information and communication technologies. Many parliaments are now uploading significant documents such as daily order papers, draft laws, and committee reports for distribution. Indeed, some even allow citizens to comment on pending work, such as draft bills for consideration before a committee or the plenary for parliaments. More parliaments are using social networks, particularly parliamentary websites, email systems, and parliamentary libraries to connect with citizens. The World e-Parliament Report 2016 says ICT can have a transformative effect in making parliaments more transparent and accessible. Also, parliaments, by embracing two-fold strategy of facilitating the passage of freedom of information legislation and then showing leadership by making parliaments more transparent itself, are making a substantial contribution to transparency and accountability in governance. Many parliaments, including the National Assembly, are increasingly providing the public with information on their budgets, expenditures, and financial activities. Thirdly, parliamentary openness has also taken the form of direct engagement within the policy-making process by providing citizens access to information about the laws under consideration, as well as opportunities to influence legislative deliberations. The National Assembly have made several attempts to promote parliamentary openness and greater publication, participation in governance and decision-making. Some of the concrete measures include live coverages of plenary sessions, opening committee meetings to the media and the public, and recently making its budgets and expenditure open to review by citizens. Also, this position is further reinforced by the Freedom of Information Act initiated and passed by the National Assembly to aid good governance and accountability. It is against this background that the National Assembly plans to hold the Open Week to make the work of the National Assembly accessible to the public. It is expected to broaden public understanding, legislative functions and processes, and engender interaction between legislators and key stakeholders. A series of events, including interactive sessions, question and answer exhibitions, and tours, are planned over a 4-day period from Monday the 16th of July to Thursday the 19th July 2018 at the National Assembly Arcade, Abuja. This is expected to raise awareness on National Assembly initiatives and activities. This edition of Platform examines the Declaration on Parliamentary Openness and Nigeria's National Assembly's attempt to implement the declaration with a specific focus on advancing inclusive governance through legislative openness. Our guest is Representative Aminu Shagri, the Chairman, House of Representatives Committee on Judiciary and member of the Governing Council of the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, NILS, who are facilitators for the National Assembly Open Week 2018. Representative Aminu Shagri is serving his 3rd term in the House of Representatives, representing Yabo Shagari Federal Constituency in Sokoto State. Representative Aminu Shagri, welcome to Platform.
Thank you very much, Muhammad. I'm glad to be here.
With me on the panel to discuss the National Assembly Open Week is Cosmos Ekwunobi, editor with Authority newspaper.
Thank you very much.
And also a very senior National Assembly correspondent. Thank you. Another senior National Assembly correspondent also on the panel is Taiwo Adisa, and he's also group politics editor for the Nigerian Tribune.
Thank you very much.
Representative Aminu Shagri, as a third-term member of the House of Representatives, certainly you have the cognate experience to discuss all the issues with us. But let's begin from the beginning. In 2012, 140 organizations in 75 countries signed the Declaration on the Parliamentary Openness. What in specific terms will you say is the philosophy behind this declaration?
Well, I think if you look at it worldwide, I think all parliaments, most parliaments are not very popular with the public. I don't know why that is, but probably it may have to do with the oversight functions that they have over different MDAs, and you know, they are the custodians of the funds or being appropriated to various MDAs. So hence the lack of should I say love, the love lost between the legislature and the people that they represent. So there's a need to bring the legislature closer to the people so that they understand clearly the work of the legislature. And in Nigeria particularly, ours is being compounded by the long military rule, or the hangover from the military rule, so much that people don't really appreciate the work of the legislature. They feel a government can be run without legislature, since it has been done for a very long time. So I think these are some of the reasons that have warranted the signing of this treaty.
Well, being a signatory to the declaration, how has Nigeria's National Assembly facilitated access to parliamentary information through the electronic communication, and secondly, the citizen engagement?
Oh, well, you see, now there is more openness, so to speak. You have a lot of people now coming in, even school coming by way of excursions to watch plenary proceedings, and more the media is being allowed into committee meetings, and so on and so forth. And you have the Freedom of Information Act that was initiated by a member of the National Assembly and was passed by the National Assembly. So these are issues that they are geared towards opening up the National Assembly. And rightly, as you have said, recently, the opening of the budget of the National Assembly, you know, it's open to scrutiny. It's a public document. You can go and have a look, and so on and so forth. And most recently, this opened the proposed National Assembly Open Week, which is geared towards bringing the public into the National Assembly and looking at how it operates and what we have done, what we're doing, and how we intend to do it.
We'll come to the specifics of the National Assembly Open Week, but let me allow my colleagues to chip in now with their thoughts. Taiwo.
Yeah, looking at the National Assembly Open Week, we've had this current National Assembly from 1999. You agree with me, Honorable, that a lot of Nigerians are apparently frustrated by lack of knowledge about the National Assembly. The budget is always shrouded in mystery, and the processes are also not well known. How much of openness can we now have now that you are launching the Open Week?
Maybe let me rephrase that question. As we approach the National Assembly Open Week, what are the processes, what are the various engagements? I did indicate that it's going to be interactive session. How interactive will it be? And then the question and answer session, the committee reports or committee sessions, how are you slating all of that? If we have that, then we will now come to the issue of how open it will be.
Okay, well, what we intend to have is, you see, we have so many committees. Like in the House of Representatives, we have about 90 committees.
97, I am told.
97. 97. And I'm sure we have up to half of that in the Senate.
65.
So what we intend to do is to put these committees in clusters. And then we will have them in in like stands, if you like, or stalls where you know they can come. The secretariat will be there, the members of the committee will be there, and of course the chairman and deputy. Then they will be answering questions to the general public or whoever cares to know that this is what we have been doing.
So each committee will have a stand?
Absolutely. But it may be that some committees will be clustered with other committees who have similar
functions.
Like you can have, for instance, judiciary, human rights, and
legal matters,
and so on and so forth.
Yeah, Honorable, let me chip in. Talking about transparency and openness in the management of National Assembly funds. Over the years, we've had alleged interference by the political leadership of the National Assembly in the selection of the headship of the bureaucracy. I'm asking this question vis-a-vis the need for them to be more open. And this, of course, it doesn't give the headship of the bureaucracy the freedom to often speak, knowing that it can be fired or hired by the political leadership. How are you going to canvass for the independence of the bureaucracy this week?
No, I'm not clear what you mean by the National Assembly interfering with
in the choice of who heads the bureaucracy.
No, I beg to disagree with that. I think the National Assembly is concerned with making laws, oversights, and so on and so forth. But when you're talking about the confirmation by the Senate, I hope, is that what you mean? Because confirmation by the Senate is not power to hire and fire. I can't see any instance where...
Confirmation of the National Assembly bureaucracy is not even done by the Senate. It's done by the National Assembly Service Commission.
Oh, he's talking about the bureaucracy of the National Assembly itself.
Yes.
Okay, no.
Are we saying that they should not have a hand on who should head?
They don't have a hand in it. I can tell you for sure, for the 10 or more years I have been in the National Assembly, I have not seen where the leadership of the National Assembly has a bearing on who becomes what in the bureaucracy. In fact, we've had several instances where a committee chairman, for instance, is a secretary or a clerk is posted to your committee or is posted away from your committee. And you start complaining and they tell you, no, that is our bureaucracy, you have to accept it. And then we take it. I can't remember any instance where we interfered with the bureaucracy of the leadership of the National Assembly.
Okay, Honorable, still talking about openness. Who should be speaking for National Assembly budget? Is it the bureaucracy or the political leadership who should be talking about the budget?
There are two issues here when you talk about National Assembly budget. There are those that are concerned with the salaries and allowances of members. And then you have those that are staff of the National Assembly, and their own salaries and emoluments or whatever it is are quite different from that of the serving members and the staff working under a member. Every member has about 5 staff, his LA, his SLA, his secretary, and the liaison officer that you have at home. So these are separate from the House, the members, staff of the House of Assembly, House of National Assembly.
Honorable, let's just come back to the issue. The public perception of the National Assembly has largely been negative, and I think you made allusions to that, based maybe on misinformation about function of Parliament or the emolument of members, etc. Is that the reason for this scheduled National Assembly Open Week?
No, the issue is, as I've told you, that there is a lot of misconception about the actual work of a legislator. For instance, back home they tell you, since we sent you to Abuja, you've been sitting down there, what have you done for us? This was in the 6th Assembly I'm talking about. This necessitated the formation of constituency projects, because we had to come up with something to show that, okay, we were able to convince the executive that we need to put something down for our people to show them this is what we have done for them. This is what we have been able to attract the federal presence to our constituency because of this misinformation. And hence, the constituency projects that you can now point, I need a school here, I need a borehole here, I need a hospital here, and so on and so forth. So that misconception is what we are trying to reduce to the barest minimum, and to bring them closer to their legislators. If you look at it, there is no platform where a member can speak to his constituents. There is none. It's only on very few occasions, like once actually, that we had a town hall meeting when we were doing the constitutional amendment during the 7th Assembly, where we made templates, and then we took these templates back home, and then we sat with our constituents and we voted on each template. Do you need autonomy of local government? Do you need traditional rulers to be brought in the constitution to be given a role, and so on and so forth? And then if they vote on that, then we now bring it back to the parliament. And if we get 70% or up to 2/3 of a particular template being voted by members, then we now draft a bill to cover or take care of that amendment that our people seek. That's the only difference. That's the only, time that you can speak to your constituents. That's the only platform.
Are you saying as an honorable member you cannot create an avenue, another town hall meeting if you like, for your constituents?
You're free to do that. You can always...
Then why don't you do that?
To
bridge this gap of misinformation.
What we have are constituency offices. And these constituency offices, you have a member, you have your representative, we call them liaison officers. You're supposed to have one, I have two in every local government, where whatever they need, they can, bring it forward through the LO, and then he can now transmit it to you while you're here doing your legislative duties. Once in a while, you can go back home, sit down with them, listen to them, and talk to them. But I'm saying officially, like there are no programs, outlined for you to, have that interaction session, involve them, inform them, and empower them. And that's what we're doing with this. We have the constituency projects. We try to empower our constituents through these constituency projects.
Yes. Let's go to specifics now, Honorable.
Okay.
Your constituency, your oversight functions is one other contentious aspect of your activities in the National Assembly. How transparent will you be, or will you assure the people when they come for this open week? How are you going to assure them that transparently you're going to pursue your oversight functions henceforth?
Okay, you see, not only the oversight, the functions of the legislature has been not what it should be. Let me put it that way. Okay. That is why this 8th Assembly, we have decided to come up with what we call manuals and templates. It was developed by NILS, to be fair to them, Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies. But what they did was an omnibus kind of thing. And so we now decided to make our own rules, so to speak, in the House of Representatives. You have a manual on oversight. How do you conduct oversight? What do you do before in preparation to an oversight? What are the questions you should ask? Even sitting of the members is captured in that document, and after that, how do you report that oversight? So that then you now have the reporting manual, and then we have the committee manual itself, how the committee should operate, and then you have the bill drafting manual, then you have the public hearing manual. There are 5 manuals. So hitherto people just did what they wanted, they just do what they feel should be done based on practice. But now there are standards of what you are expected to do at an oversight. So these are part of the things we're trying to streamline the work of the legislature. And we didn't just come up with them. We compared we studied what obtains in places like the United States and some developed countries before we came up with our own. And these are part of the things we intend to display at the open week, if they can be printed on time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Honorable, what are we expecting from the lawmakers during the open week?
The lawmakers, they will be there. Most of them will be, some of them could be chairing some of the sessions, the interactive sessions, and they can, and they take part on the, and they'll be among the panelists. You can ask them questions that refer to in relation to the work of their committees. And they will be there, of course, in their stands where the committee stands are, and you can ask them questions on anything you want to know, and they can tell you what they have done or what they intend to do.
I'm told you also going to have the interactive session with the executive arm of government on the economic recovery and growth plan.
Yeah.
What form of interaction will this be?
Well, during the week, there will be interactive sessions going on, and we have a set of programs where we have different topics that will be discussed, and we have experts that will sit down and partake in these interactive sessions with very burning issues, like would want to know the relationship or what is the best relationship between the legislature and the executive, for instance, or how does a minister now relate to a member of parliament, and vice versa, and the judiciary. What is the relationship supposed to be? How is it supposed to be defined? These are areas that we need, to speak upon, so that everybody knows his role clearly and as it is being practiced.
That interactive session with the executive arm, will it also include a scenario whereby an appointee of the executive refuses to, if you like, respond to a call from any of your executive committees or any of your sessions?
Absolutely, absolutely. These are some of the issues. You see, when you disrespect the parliament, you are not disrespecting the person occupying the seat. You are disrespecting the institution as a whole, and thereby you are eroding those fundamental pillars that support democracy. And as this goes on, democracy will be eroded, and the institutions will not be given the respect they deserve. And for you to get the optimum out of these institutions, you have to give them maximum support and respect. So these are some of the issues we hope to bring up and trash during the interactive sessions.
Yeah. Honorable, we have had several interactive sessions between the executive and the lawmakers.
Yes.
And it has not really helped matter. So do you think this will be a turning point?
Well, there has never been an open week before, and this is going to be the first. Just like a lot of firsts that we have done in this 8th assembly. We have introduced the sectoral debates. I'm sure it was the first time, you call ministers or people that are in charge of certain aspects of governance, and they appear before the parliament, and then we ask questions, and then we understand each other. I'm sure we called the service chiefs to come and brief us on security issues, and it was a very fruitful debate, even though we are yet to see improvement from what we discussed.
I understand you also have an interaction. You are going to have an interactive session with the judiciary, and specifically you'll be looking at the pre and post elections adjudication and constitutional separation of powers. What form is that going to take? Are you expecting for example, the Chief Justice of the Federation
Absolutely.
to all the President Court of Appeal, or what?
Yes, we are expecting the Chief Justice to come at the opening. At least we're expecting that. And during the interactive sessions, we expect people from judiciary to come, and then so that we have this interactive session. But I'm glad to say that during the constitution amendment, we had a very good understanding with judiciary. You know, we asked them to give us those areas that they feel should be amended in the constitution, because they are the people that are practicing the law and they know where the constraints are. And they highlighted these areas and brought it to us. I, as the chairman judiciary, you know, I sponsored this bill, and then it went through first and second reading, and then we sat down and tried this issue, and then we came up with a beautiful legislation, which has now been, it's before Mr. President, and it should be ascended.
Okay, sir.
The issue of post-election adjudication, what form will it take? I mean, because you still, up to now, 2015, we're in 2018, but we still hear some 2015 cases of gubernatorial elections.
Sure. Still pending. Yeah, still pending.
Yes, actually, in the amendment, there are some laws that are being that were proposed to reduce this endless litigation in election, post-election matters. We have tried to make it that appeals, you know, the legislation, the litigation is time barred, and it has to end before a certain period, so that you don't have you know, endless litigations. And then of course the Electoral Act too is being amended, so that those things that give rise to this endless litigations are being taken care of.
Yeah, Honorable, you agree with me that despite the fact that the National Assembly was the originator of constituency projects, a number of your constituents are still in the dark as to what really should be. Some believe that constituency projects are constituency money that are given to you, to lawmakers to spend and whatever. How are you going to break these things down during the open week for them to know?
Okay, this constituency project issue has been a very naughty issue. It's always coming up. We keep explaining and people keep asking questions about these constituency projects. Now, what happens is that when these funds are given, a certain amount is, you know, allocated to each member. You can spend X amount of money.
You mean each constituency?
Each member.
Okay.
And then
So the cash is given to the member?
let me land.
All right.
I said a certain amount is allocated to the member. For instance, they can say you can spend 300,000, you know, this in this year. So, and they give you a template. If you want a borehole, it costs 10,000. If you want a classroom, it costs 20,000, for instance. If you want to buy, if you want solar street lights, this is how much it costs. So you will now, they'll give you a form, you will fill and spend your money on the form. Okay? So,
but specifying the projects.
Specifying the projects.
Who gives the forms?
The forms are given by the MDAs that are carrying out.
By the ministry's department.
By the ministry.
Okay.
They have costed this, the cost of this project. Yes. If you want a school, if you want 2 classrooms, this is the amount. If you want it to be fully equipped with chairs and books and stuff, this is what it will cost you. So it's left to you to choose those areas that you think your constituents are most in need, or the area where you think as a legislator you want to give priority. For instance, I give priority to education because I feel that's what my people need. And so I build schools, give them books, and then I put the solar street lights because we don't have light. And they're very happy about that. So at the end of the day, if you spend your money on the paper, it's now given to those MDAs that are in charge. If you want electricity, it goes to the Ministry of Power. If you want boreholes, it goes to Ministry of Water Resources. You know, and so on and so forth. If you want anything to do with health,
who gives the contract?
I don't really know.
I mean, are you saying this specific ministry will now issue, or rather
Yeah,
based on your recommendation.
Give
Of
the
course,
contracts.
the ministry, they do the needful. All you have to do is when they now, when they're going to do the project, they call your LA, because you can leave the number of your LA, your liaison officer there. So he now liaises with the people carrying out the project, and then he goes to show them the site where they are going to do the project. And then they tell you it's done. And then all you have to do is go with your Babariga and launch the project. And that is the only time that you now see the project. Or you can supervise to ensure that it's done. It's done well.
So where
That
did
is
this media hype comes from? Where the media thinks it is the individual legislator or senator that takes the money home?
As a free money.
You should tell me, you are the part of the media.
So if it is this way, why is it that you don't tell the media exactly this is what it is?
That we have kept on, I've said this times without number. I've explained this several times.
Okay, then I can assist you, Honorable. Maybe
Okay.
it's because somehow people don't know how much you earn. So if they know how much you earn, for example, a member comes into the National Assembly, House of Representatives, for example, from 2015, his constituents know how he looks, what he does, the car he rides, but all of a sudden by 2016, 2017, he is riding a bigger car. Then they start putting 2 and 2 together, and they get 4, or they may get 5.
10.
I may be wrong.
Maybe that is why. I don't know. I don't know too.
That was why I asked
But
that question. Who
constituency
talks about the
projects-
budget?
Constituency projects, that is how they are done. If you have another question, you can ask me.
So
But
no-
as to what people assume,
Yeah.
I'm not in a position to ask to answer that question. Maybe you should ask the people themselves. Why do they assume that we are eating the money? You ask them.
So you're telling us that no money comes into a legislator's pocket through the process of constituency project?
No money comes to a legislature. I, for one, I have never seen a dime of constituency projects. I have never seen a contractor that has done my job. Believe me, I have never. Well, I cannot swear because I saw a lady who came to me. She was looking for me. She said, "Are you Shagri?" I said, "Yes. I have been given a contract to supply motorcycles to your constituency." So I said, "Okay, go and supply it." She said that she needs me to write a letter saying that she has applied so that she can get the payment. And I said, "No, if I were doing that, you wouldn't get this job." She said, "Yes." I said, "Go and supply my motorcycles." And she did that. That's for me. I don't know for...
And you now launch the motorcycles.
Absolutely.
then let's go back to this open week again. I understand you are going to have an interactive session with the trade unions on economic growth, issue of minimum wage and industrial relations. What sort of interactive session will that be? Because, I mean, the trade union itself is divided. There are those who say they want ABC as minimum wage, those who think it is not reasonable, those who think government is not doing enough. What sort of interaction will it be so that the public will be informed?
I'll be very interested to know what kind of interactive session it will be actually, because these are issues. That is why the interactive sessions. This is a topic that you have mentioned, and it will be an interesting thing to witness.
Honorable, you have served in 6th.
No, sorry.
Okay.
When we say what sort of interaction will it be?
Yes.
Who are you inviting from the trade union side, and so that they will, using this program, listening to us, be informed and be advised as what to do when they come for the open week?
You see, what we did was the NILS, that is Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, they opened a website that if you are interested in these discussions or in taking part in these interactive sessions, you register. And when you register, you can come and pick up your tag at in front of the National Assembly. You can pick it up, and then you become part and parcel of the event. So, sorry.
Go ahead.
So that's what I was saying, that you can be, if you want to take part, you register and then you come. Because when we say open week, it doesn't mean every Anybody can just stroll into National Assembly. Of course, we'll have chaos. So that is why we're saying you have to register,
on the website?
Yeah, you set your profile, and when they look at it and you are eligible to attend, you can get your tag, your pass. And the passes are different. If there are some that can allow you access to where the committees are. And there are some tags that can now, allow you access to the interactive sessions. They will be in 3 parts, actually.
So, if that's the case, someone who is interested in coming to the Open Week will register on the website. Is that what you're going to be doing to the traditional rulers and pressure groups when you come for their own interactive session? Because it will be interesting to know how would you want the representative of the traditional institutions to come on board and partake in the Open Week?
Well, you see, there are some people that have to be given special preferences, of course. Like traditional rulers, you give them special invitations. We're inviting you to come and attend this interactive session on Dash Day of Dash, and we expect to see them there. And we have very senior, well-respected senators that will receive them, and they will anchor the program. And so that's how it is. Everybody has his own space, and we have earmarked certain rules for certain individuals.
Yeah, Honorable, I wanted to ask a question before. I said you've served in 6th, 7th, and now 8th Senate. It's at House of Reps. Yeah. Were there things that were done wrong in those 6th and 7th that are being done better today?
Well, well, that's a very difficult question to ask, because you see, in Parliament we are learning every day. There are things that I told you. For instance, the way and manner people. Sorry. Excuse me. Can I have a glass of water?
We'll get you water. Go ahead if you can.
Yes. Actually, there are things that have been done differently today that were not that were wrong in the previous assemblies. As I told you, committees before, they just go on oversight and they say this is what we want to do and that's how we're going to do it. But now we have rules that we're setting up, and we have rules for everything. If you want to conduct public hearing, this is how you do it. If we are asked to do something, this is how you report back to the House. We have a standard way of doing it. Even the bill drafting, we want to have a style, a specific style that we do it, not just anyhow. So those 5 documents, they're already in existence, and they've been adopted by the House. And we're living by them. By and large, we're trying to practice them. Excuse me.
Yeah, certainly. Before we get to those 5 documents, we will have to allow the Honourable to really take a sip of that water, and then
Thank you.
Go ahead, Honourable. You are free to make yourself more comfortable. Yes. Now, in the interactive session, you are also talking of women groups, youth groups, and student bodies. Earlier, you told us there will be accreditation, and the accreditation may not necessarily allow or easy facility or easy access to all maybe the cluster of committees. So yes. How will these interested bodies, particularly women, youth, and student bodies, have access? Because certainly they will be interested, most especially in maybe how you draft your bills, maybe the issue of your emoluments, for example. How are you going to address that so that even though they are not going to have access to all the clusters, but they will be able to know what is really going on across the board?
Yes, in fact, there are some of the reasons why we are doing this open week. As I told you, if we open our doors to everybody, you may not even be able to have any meaningful interaction.
Yeah.
So you will have to control the inflow of the people coming in, and then you have different interactions, different topics on different dates. Those that concern the youth and students will be on a different day from the one that concerns the traditional rulers, for instance. So, and those bodies, they have their leadership, and then I'm sure they have registered on the website. As at yesterday, we have over 250 people that are interested in coming for the event, and I'm sure it's growing.
Or both?
In both. So we expect that there should be some kind of orderliness because of this registration, and we're encouraging people to go and pick up their tags before the date of the program, so that when you come in on the day you're supposed to come, you just stroll in. So the tags should be ready.
Where are we talking about? Where is the venue? And what sort of security arrangements do we envisage?
Okay, it's going to be in the middle, in the middle of the National Assembly, at the arcade, yes.
Okay.
So we're going to have a canopy there. It's a big, just like the dome or the dome they have there, and there will be the stands will be in there, and then we have made arrangements for public conveniences and so on and so forth. So at the entrance is where you collect your tags, and then those tags, as I said earlier, allow you access to various areas where different activities are going on.
Are you going to suspend plenary for this?
Yes, of course. Plenary will be suspended for the whole of that week. Yes.
It's one of the things that Nigerians also want to hear from you during the open week is about this notion of jumbo pay. It's been a recurring issue, just like the constituency project matter. How are you going to break this down to the people during that week?
Well, it will be open. It will be open for the obtained time, and we'll say it, and we'll keep saying it again. Just like you brought up this issue about 3 times today or more. So if you go, you will see it. It's open. I told you we passed the Freedom of Information Act. Yeah. So our budget is there for you to look at. Whatever you want to scrutinize, you are free to do that. And I'm sure at the end of the day, maybe we'll have a better relationship.
So how did people come about this jumbo pay if what the Revenue Mobilization Commission and all that put together are already streamlined? But yet people think that you earn more than that somehow.
I'm telling you
Senator
that
Shehu Sani, Kaduna Central, did publicize or publish what he, in his understanding, is what a senator earns, and he talked about what a House of Representative member earns. How far is he from the truth? What exactly is it?
I think you should direct that question to Shehu Sani himself. And Shehu
no,
Sani
but we're talking about the open week, and this program is specifically to assist and facilitate your openness.
Shehu Sani will speak for the Senate because that is what he knows about.
Okay, tell us about the House. How much
the House of
member of the House of Reps earn?
I don't really know how much a House of Representatives member earns, because the salary is there and then the allowances are there. I have not computed to know that this is the total of what I earn as a member.
I think the problem here is the difference between salary and allowances, because their salaries are being published by Revenue Mobilization.
Yes.
And these allowances are things you cannot really see. But when you sum them up, you come to this jumbo pay.
Do they go into different accounts? Maybe he will tell us.
When you come to the open week, you meet the account section. They can explain to you better. I don't know how these things go, so I don't want to...
So money just hit your accounts, you don't know how much they are?
No breakdown.
I earn my salary as it comes. Okay? I don't know what the Senate earns. I don't know what
Yeah, let's talk about the House.
Okay.
Yeah, you are a member of the House of Representatives.
Okay,
You are a third-term member. So certainly you knew what you earn in the 6th House of Representatives. You knew what you earn in the 7th. You now know. You should know what you're earning now in the 8th.
Whether it's growing or it's coming down.
I cannot tell you now because I don't have the documents with me. But our pay slip is there. We have publicized it. We've made it open. What every subhead means. Our allowances for wardrobe allowances, newspaper allowances, and all that, I cannot bring them up ahead now.
Will members of the public have an idea? Will you display them?
Of course,
during the open week?
They'll be there. They're public documents.
Honorable, there's this one other issue. You mentioned in the course of your submission here that you are entitled to 5 legislative eggs. And over time, we have had this allegation that monies or entitlement for these heirs, the lump sum are being paid into lawmakers' account, who now decide what to give to each of these, contrary to what was approved by the bureaucracy for them.
By the National Assembly Service Commission.
That is absolutely false, as far as I'm concerned. I have never seen what my aide, for instance, earns. All I know is I give up his name, I certify that he should be
he's your aide.
He's my aide, and then he gets his salary. Whether he gets increments or not, sometimes he comes tell me, Oga, I've been promoted now, I'm earning this. I say, oh, good, thank you, good for you. But I've never known what they earn, and I've never had anything to do with their salary or allowances.
Well, there are several issues, you know. The World EU Parliament Report 2016 says ICT can have a transformative effect in making parliaments more transparent and accessible. How has the National Assembly leveraged on the use of ICT? Are you satisfied with what obtains now? If yes, what else do you think can be done better?
Actually, I think there is much to be desired, you know, the use of ICT in the National Assembly. I think maybe because, you know, if you look at it, basically many legislators may not be able to be conversant with these modern gadgets. But at a point, you're talking about being able to monitor whatever is happening on the floor of the House from your office, and then you can be able to vote yes or no from your office, and so on and so forth. But I don't think we are that sophisticated for now. I think our constituents want to see us on the floor of the House, you know, making contributions rather than, you know, sitting back at the office voting and so on and so forth. Even those areas where they do that, I think in the British Parliament, they may not have enough room for everybody to be there on the floor. So that is why they came up with these things. So I think we better just be where we are. It's much...
But as it exists now, in both the Senate chambers and the House of Representatives chambers, there are provisions for electronic voting.
Yes.
And the display boards are there. But you seldom use them. Why?
Yes, because using them sometimes, you know, electronics can act funny sometimes. But you see, we use them when it comes to if we need a specific number to pass a bill. And whenever we're doing constituency, constitution amendment,
yes.
we use them, and everybody has to come with his own card, and then you slot it in, and then you have to register on the board. Then they know how many people are present, and then, you know, you vote, and yes comes up, and no, nays come up, and then, you know, it's quite cumbersome. So I think it's just easier to use voice vote sometimes in non-contentious issues.
Honorable, some members or some lawmakers are yet to recover from the last invasion of the National Assembly by yet unknown people. This is another opportunity. How are you going to discuss this issue vis-a-vis how to further fortify the National Assembly?
Security issues in National Assembly.
And fortifying, not disenfranchising the public.
Yes, actually, just on Wednesday, that was on Tuesday, we discussed the committee, the ad hoc committee that was constituted under the chairmanship of Honorable Betty Apiafi, they came up with their report on the invasion of the National Assembly. And when they brought it, we considered it, and they made their recommendations. But I think the recommendations, as far as I'm concerned, were just too, excuse me, superficial, because they only indicted the senator that was allegedly involved, Senator Orubebe. He was the only person that was Omo Agege, sorry. He was the only person that was recommended to be suspended and prosecuted. But I say, how did those thugs gain access into the chambers? How did they make away with the mace? There is a gate, the entrance to the chambers, and then there is a gate entrance to the main building itself, and then after that you have 2 other gates before they left. Who are the people manning those areas, and what is going to what is the punishment being recommended for them?
Okay. As a member of that ad hoc committee, when do we expect this report to come to plenary?
I wasn't a member. It came. We considered it on the floor of the House on Tuesday.
Okay.
So and those recommendations came up, and then they were aired, I'm sure. And so we made those recommendations, and we adopted them.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is they should have gone deeper into trying to identify those security agencies that were supposed to be manning those gates. Yeah. But no security agent was indicted in that report. And that's why I say it has not met my expectation. But really, a lot needs to be done in securing the National Assembly as a whole. They're doing a beautiful job so far, but that invasion was just
Honorable Aminu Shagri, Chairman House Committee on Judiciary and member of the Governing Council of the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, NILS, who are the Secretariat and Facilitators for the scheduled National Assembly Open Week. Thank you so much for your thoughts. We may have to stop it there and then hope that the general public are sufficiently intimated on the various processes for the coming open week, and hope that they will all respond adequately and come to the National Assembly arcade and participate in the open week. Thank you so much for coming to the studio.
Thank you very much for having me.
And of course, Taiwo Adisa, Group Politics Editor of the Nigerian Tribune.
Thank you
for your time all the time.
Much, my brother.
Also, Cosmos Ekonobi, Editor with the Authority newspaper. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, my dear.
We've been talking about the scheduled National Assembly Open Week, which is an open week that is planned by the National Assembly, specifically coming up on the 16th to the 19th of July 2018, essentially to broaden public understanding of legislative functions and processes and engender interaction between legislators and key stakeholders. As I said, this is coming on the 16th to the 19th of July 2018. And Honorable Aminu Shagri, Chairman, House Committee on Judiciary and member of the Governing Council of the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, NILS, has been here talking to us about the various processes of the coming open week. It is a novel idea, the very first time the National Assembly is going to subject itself to the scrutiny by members of the public and the various strata of society. That's platform for this week. I'm Muhammad Kudu Abubakar. Thank you for watching. Next time.